This is Charlie Kao with TravelMole at ITB Asia in Singapore with Michael Parsons with Accor. He is Vice President Marketing and Strategic Partnership for Asia Pacific. And what you've been telling me, Michael, is amazing what Accor has achieved to date in Asia Pacific. Could you recap that again? Number of properties, partners, destinations.
I think as a group, Accor Hotels certainly now has a clear leadership position across the Asia Pacific region. Today we're operating close to 750 hotels and resorts across the region, and we have a strong pipeline of 330 properties that are in development at the moment. So essentially, what does that mean, Charlie? It means that in Asia Pacific, we're opening more than one hotel a week, and certainly that trend looks set to continue for at least the coming 5 years. So a really exciting time for the group, and the expansion in the region is certainly being driven by some exciting changes for the group. I think about what we're doing in the luxury and upscale brand segment, and certainly we put a lot of emphasis around that recently. Combining the Fairmont, Raffles and Swiss Hotel to our already upscale and luxury portfolios is extremely exciting for the group. In Asia Pacific, it gives us 29 hotels overnight, world-class brands, and now what we're seeing is that we have a tremendous opportunity from a development perspective as well. These new brands are going to give us so much more that we can offer, not only to our guests but also to investors, so we're exceptionally excited about that. And I think when we look at a lot of the synergies that this will bring to the group, there's going to be some amazing expertise, whether it's through distribution, loyalty, but particularly some of the best practices that we're seeing, particularly around guest experience, a real strength and focus around our guests. And now these brands will give us a real leadership, strong world-class brands across 5 continents in the world. So exciting time for us in the luxury space. Another exciting opportunity, I think, for the group, and it was actually announced at the end of September, is the launch of Jo&Joe. And this is an exciting new brand for the group. This is going to give us an amazing opportunity to tap into a new segment, well, a segment which is everyone's flavour of the month, and that's the millennial traveller or the millennial-minded traveller. And certainly Jo&Joe has been tailor-made. We're looking to probably implement this brand very quickly, 50 addresses around the world by 2020. But this brand in particular is focusing on experience. It's a brand that will break the traditional codes of hospitality. It's a brand that is about experience. It's about shareability. It's about coming together, and it's about really giving you a wonderful sleep experience, but so much more than that. It's about communal spaces, it's about technology, and it's about being able to really meet and have these wonderful and authentic experiences that you'll get in our other brands, but of course this is being really tailored to that millennial traveller through a lot of the products and services that we'll be delivering to this market. When I think about Asia Pacific, it's a brand that we're going to be really passionate about. We've already identified some key destinations for Jo&Joe. We'll look at key cities which are popular for millennial travellers today, whether it's cities like Sydney, Melbourne, the Gold Coast in Australia. You know, we're talking about Bali as a wonderful destination, cities like Bangkok, Singapore, Hong Kong, Shanghai. These are just a couple of cities where we think Jo&Joe will have an immediate impact for the group, so it's exciting times ahead.
Going back to the 700 plus current properties, where are they distributed? Which areas in Asia Pacific?
I think what Accor Hotels has done exceptionally well over the years in the Asia Pacific region is diversification of product and really looking at a clear footprint that spans the whole region. We have clear domination in a lot of countries across the Asia Pacific region. In Australia, as an example, we have over 200 properties alone, making us the clear leader. And it's a very important market for us, Australia, both domestically but also outbound travel. I think about North and Southeast Asia, particularly in Indonesia. Today we're operating over 100 hotels and resorts in Indonesia alone.
Wow.
That gives us clear domination and leadership as an international hotel provider. China, of course, is an important market for us. We can't forget China, and we're expanding in China. But India, again, is another market that is critically important for the group. And over the last 3 to 4 years, we've been able to open a number of properties. It's very challenging to get into India and open hotels, but once you do, we're actually starting to see a lot of traction, particularly with our loyalty program. Our loyalty base in India is the fastest growing of any country in Asia Pacific. So we're really excited about the potential that India has. And of course, markets like Thailand, in particular Bangkok for us, is a very strong market. We're very good in terms of delivering product, whether that be in the luxury and upscale market with our Sofitel and Pullman brands, but particularly in our mid-scale and economy, we've been very successful there, and particularly in the resorts in places like Phuket and Krabi as an example. And Vietnam as well is actually an interesting market for us, and we're really starting to focus on that and expand in that region as well.
In China?
Look, you can't not talk about China. I mean, China is such an important market for everybody, AccorHotels in particular. I think when we look at the product that we've just brought into the network with Fairmont, Raffles and Swiss Hotel, there's some great product there. I think about the Fairmont Peace Hotel in Shanghai, and I have to say this is one of the most beautiful products that we have now in the network, and we've inherited a lot of those globally as well. Our Sofitel brand in particular has got great strength, and our Pullman brand, it's actually the fastest growing brand for us in China, Pullman. When I look at Pullman globally, over 100 hotels now within that network, and more than 50% of the network resides in Asia Pacific, and excitingly, nearly 90% of the future growth for Pullman will be in Asia Pacific, and of course a key focus in China.
You were telling me earlier about new ventures in China. Is that something you can talk about at the moment a little?
Yeah, I think we've been able to identify a really strong partner in China, and a strategic alliance has been formed with a company called Huazhu. This company today operates over 3,000 hotels across mainland China, across several brands, really focusing more in the economy segment, but also touching into mid-scale and luxury. Their membership base alone, Charles, is 70 million.
The loyalty program members.
70 million members. I mean, it's phenomenal to think about the numbers that exist in China. But 70 million loyalty members. When you consider AccorHotels today globally has 30 million members as part of the Club program, 8 million of which are in Asia Pacific. That gives us a joint loyalty program. Of course, these two programs will be able to be benefited by guests staying in both Huazhu Hotels and AccorHotel properties of 100 million. That's such a powerful
the outbound, with all that outbound China traffic, the new joint Accor loyalty program with these 70 million is going to be powerful.
Look, I mean, Charles, the opportunities there to be able to market to these members are incredible. Today, the Huazhu membership is very domestic, but their marketing to these members is world class. They're talking to them like we haven't ever before. So we're going to learn some best practice here from them, but we're also able now to offer their members a really unique opportunity to experience our world class brands, not only in China, not only in Asia Pacific, but worldwide. So favourite destinations for Chinese, such as Paris, now become open and available to the Chinese traveller who are Huazhu members, and tomorrow will also be the Club AccorHotels members. So we see this as a wonderful
Chinese love Paris.
It's an amazing destination, and whether it's for leisure, whether it's for a honeymoon, Paris offers everything that you can imagine, and certainly for the Chinese, shopping is obviously high on the list, and we have some wonderful hotels that are located around key destinations for shopping, touristic activities, and of course, being a French origin company, you can imagine that we have Paris well and truly covered.
You spoke about the new brand for Millennials. What are other guest trends you've been following and looking at accommodating in the coming years?
I think when you talk about trends, Millennials is top of mind. Everyone's talking about the need to really focus products and services around Millennials. But you talk about demographic and segments such as the baby boomers or Gen Xers. We can't forget those. They play an important part of the hotel experience today and certainly tomorrow as well. That being said, we did launch, as I said earlier, the brand Jo&Joe in September of this year, which is really going to be a brand that's focused around that millennial or millennial-minded traveller. We actually see some best practice already through low-cost carriers. They've done a great job in identifying that millennial traveller who, if you look at the millennial across different countries and cultures, it's relatively the same. In the next 10 years,
Oh, really?
the millennial is going to be coming into what I say is a great period for them. They're going to be working, they're going to be spending, and we need to be able to capitalise on that. We need to be giving great products and services that are like-minded for the experiences that these millennials want to have. And certainly Jo&Joe is the perfect product for that. Whether it's through the design of our lobbies, we've seen this as a great opportunity with a technology angle as well. The app that we're developing for Jo&Joe will be so different. It'll be tailor-made for the millennial and really give a lot of opportunities for our millennial travellers to interact with each other whilst they're on property, but also in a community whilst they're travelling outside. We're actually seeing that there'll be like a neighbourhood lifestyle to the Jo&Joe brand. We're going to actually have wonderful tailor-made products and services that are unique and authentic to that region, whether it's linked to music and culture, whether it's linked to yoga, DIY workshops. These are all type of things that we want to be able to collaboratively work on so that those millennials have a wonderful experience whilst they're with us. And of course the sleeping proposition that we're going to have with Jo&Joe is also going to be very unique. We're going to look at bedding like never before. We're going to have opportunities to sleep in apartment styles. There'll be non-traditional sleeping. There'll be yurts. There'll be hammocks. There'll be caravan type of sleeping accommodation. So, you know, nothing's off limits at this point. It's exciting times, and I think that as we develop this brand, we're going to have great traction with millennial travellers all around the world, and Asia Pacific is certainly going to be a hotspot for that travelling base.
You have 300 properties in the pipeline, new properties.
Yes.
Speak towards that a little bit.
I think from a development perspective, scale is important, and Asia Pacific has certainly been a region for the group that over the past decade has certainly grown exponentially and continues to be a growth for the business. We look at our brands that we're offering across the region. We have brands that go from luxury through to economy, and I think that that's a strength for the group. Whether you're travelling on a purse string, we have great products in our Ibis Budget and our Ibis and Ibis Styles brand across all countries in Asia Pacific. You look at those brands like Mercure and Novotel in mid-scale, they're household names in a lot of our countries, and also delivering some wonderful products around resort experiences as well. And then of course the luxury and upscale brand experience that we deliver today with Sofitel, Pullman and M Gallery, we're getting some great traction, and now, as I said, we're adding the Fairmont, Raffles and Swiss Hotel brands to our luxury and upscale portfolio. That development can only increase. I think as we go to the table, investors are really excited about what we can bring to the table, and particularly in saturated markets like Bangkok as an example, where we already have 3 Pullmans today. These new brands give us a lot more opportunity, and it's exciting for the group, and certainly exciting for our travellers and guests and loyalty members.
Michael Parsons with Accor, thank you very much. Exciting times.
Thank you, Charles.